Hi guys, it's Leanna. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome. Today I'm excited to be showing you my Christmas village, including everything I did to set up this year's display.
Feeling free, thinking about what's happened to me from July up till now. Don't know where, don't know how.
This year I decided I wanted to expand the size of my Christmas village. So I got a large piece of MDF board to increase the size, and I made a, I guess you would say like a riser for my mountain village scene. So last year I just had my Christmas village set up on top of my electric fireplace, but I decided I was going to use some leftover 2x4s that I had laying around, as well as this MDF board to make it larger. And then I was also going to recycle some boxes to make a third layer. So I have the bottom layer, and then the second layer, and then the top layer. I am putting poster board down for the bottom layer, and I just fold it so it'll kind of provide the back, starting up the second layer. One of the ways that I wanted to make my Christmas village better this year is by doing some DIYs, including this pond that I'm going to make. I cut out a shape of the pond that I wanted and size that I wanted from a scrap poster board that I had, and then I'm just going to mix a couple different shades of blue to find the perfect blue that I would like my pond to be. I probably wouldn't have had to mix so many colors if I had had the right shade of blue, but when I came to do this project, I realized that I didn't have a dark enough blue that I wanted. And so I'm just using the paints that I already have on hand. I let my paint dry completely, and once it's dry, I use little pebbles that I got from the Dollar Tree to outline the pond. I am just hot gluing them on in a single line around the perimeter of the pond. Next, I took my hot glue gun and I lined the inside of the rock wall to make sure there were no gaps underneath any of the rocks or cracks in between the rocks, and you'll see why in just a second. I picked up 2 bottles of this blue colored glue at the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to fill the pond with glue to make it look like frozen water. As you can see, it was important for me to make sure that the rock wall outside the pond was sealed so that this glue didn't just pour through any of the cracks between the rocks or underneath the rocks and make a huge mess. And this is what it looks like finished. I did let it dry for about 3 days. Now for my poster board on the first level of my Christmas village, I am going to be covering all of this front portion of the poster board first with my cobblestone town square, and then also with my brick roadway. So I just printed off this cobblestone paper, and then I cut it out, and I'm going to be gluing it down to create my town square. And then I am going to be gluing the roadway on top of it. Now I start placing my buildings on my town square. At first I have these two buildings that are not my favorite, but I am holding on to them for now until I can find ones to replace them. And then I have my bistro that I'm adding, and I'm adding my church. Next, I'm going to be adding my pet shop and my farmer's market, which is one of my favorite pieces. You and me in the cold, thought it never be true. Wherever I go, I got you. So I picked up this poster from Amazon. I thought it went perfectly with my Christmas village. I actually was looking for a poster like this for to put behind my Christmas village, and it fit perfectly in a frame that I already had, so I didn't have to go out and purchase that, which was great. Next, I'm adding the top level of my Christmas village, which I have a lodge and a farm and a Christmas tree farm. Those are the main things that will be in the top layer. And then I start filling in the middle layer, which is a park and houses and a little carnival. I also add more to my town square by placing the main tree and little signs. I got this package of little signs. I believe I got them off Amazon last year. I think that they're Leanna. By the way, all my buildings are from Walmart. But a lot of the figures are Leanna figures.
It's a wonderful feeling from floor to the ceiling. It is that time of the year, drinking hot wine by the fire.
So I have several figures that are like sledding figures. So I decided I wanted to make a sledding hill. I used 2 leftover pieces of cardboard that came in a packaging. And then they were already folded, so that was great. And I just hot glued the 2 of them together. I decided to use 2 because that would just make it a little bit more sturdy. And I just hot glued it together, and then I covered it with felt to look like snow.
It's just you and me tonight. I'll spend all this Christmas with you. Dressed in gold,
On the very top, I use some of my batting that I will be using throughout the Christmas village as faux snow. I just put that at the very top of the sledding hill. The last thing that I did was hot glue my sledding figures onto the sledding hill, and I am finished for now. Next, I am going to be adding a strand of mini lights. They have a timer and they have several different settings that you can set them to, but I will be adding that to my town square tree. And then I will be adding trim around the board to cover up the unfinished MDF. I am using garland ties that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just hot gluing them on, and they are perfect fit. After that, I work on my Christmas tree farm. I have a little Christmas tree farm display, but I want to have extra trees because of the snow blanket. It's just hard to get all of them to stay perfectly, so I decided that I would create a little tree farm forest by hot gluing it to some cardboard. After that, I'm just working on the final touches of my Christmas village. I am placing the remainder of my trees that came in my set I got from Amazon. I have some faux snow that I'm going to be placing different places. My batting I'm going to use behind the buildings to cover where the poster board is and cover any cords. And finally, my Christmas village is complete. It's definitely an improvement over my village last year, but I have room to grow for next year. If I do get a couple more pieces, I would like to get some more people for next year, but for this year, this is just my completed village, and I really do like it.
doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the windows in the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family.
I had so much fun creating my Christmas village this year, just letting my creativity go a little wild and making my DIYs, and it was just a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed this video and consider subscribing to my channel. Goodbye for now and Merry Christmas.